Hello, YouTube. Alright, we're back. If you didn't catch my update video that I posted earlier, I said why I haven't made videos for a while. But just as I promised in that video, here is this latest one. I am going to try a new old system, if that makes sense, because the old way I used to do the battle spot was I would do a battle and then I would kind of have a section afterward where I went over the battle and tried to learn what was done well, what was bad, what my opponent did great that I could learn from, what I did bad that I could learn from, or alternatively what I did good that I could learn from. I'm going to bring that back. I think I'm going to do it a little bit different. It's going to wind up making the videos a little bit longer though, hope you don't mind. But we should, I should learn, hopefully you'll learn some stuff too. So yeah, let's get to it. Obviously I am down in the rating. I want to blame the team because I don't think this team is very good right now, but that's not very fair. We have Alex from the United States with 1427. Looks like Alex has had some bad luck as well. So he's got a team of Manectric, Ferrothorn, Conkeldurr, Sylveon, Garchomp, and Talonflame. His team is very, minus the Sylveon, it's very reminiscent of 2014. So let's see. Ferrothorn does not look very pleasant to deal with, so I'm probably going to want Zapdos. Scrafty does not like seeing the Conkeldurr or the Sylveon. Scissor does not like Talonflame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Scissor in the front. In the back I'm going to put Melodic and Venusaur. If he leads with Talonflame, Scissor is going to have to make a hasty retreat, probably into Melodic. Yeah. Melodic threatens that Garchomp as well. So yeah, I locked in, obviously, so we're going to have to go with it. I'm thinking we're going to see a lead of Manectric and probably Talonflame. But if it's Manectric, Sylveon, it's kind of why I led Scissor, or if Sylveon's in the front. There we go, so we got Conkeldurr and Sylveon. Alright, and here's first thing bad for me to talk about. I can't remember if Conkeldurr has Fake Out. I don't think Conkeldurr has Fake Out though. Alright, so if I was my opponent, I would probably, like, the tier 1, the first level is to yank that Sylveon out of the way of an incoming Bullet Punch and put in Ferrothorn. So expecting Ferrothorn to come in there, I'm going to Heat Wave. Conkeldurr might Mach Punch Scissor, but I don't think he will. I'm tempted to go for a Swords Dance on Scissor, but if a Talonflame comes in, I'm kinda gonna be stuck. Okay, I'm just gonna go for the Swords Dance, and probably Talonflame's gonna come in. Yep. No, Ferrothorn. Okay, so I did choose that correctly. Ferrothorn came in. Zapdos uses Heat Wave. We're punishing that Ferrothorn for coming in. There's that Swords Dance. Used Ice Punch. Okay. So that was a Life Orb. Okay. So I'm gonna go for another Heat Wave and a Bullet Punch on this Conkeldurr. Do I want a Bullet Punch? I think I might want a Bug Bite. Yeah, I'm gonna Bug Bite the Conkeldurr. After Swords Dance, that should do a decent amount of damage. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna go for. Yep, Ferrothorn protected. Oh, didn't get the KO. Okay, so that's unfortunate. I was really wanting that. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to Roost. I'm expecting either a Giga Drain or a Leech Seed from Ferrothorn here. Do I want to Roost right now? I don't think I want to Roost. I think I want to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and threaten the Ferrothorn. And then I am going to Bullet Punch the Conkeldurr. That way, even if Conkeldurr has Mach Punch, Bullet Punch should be able to take it out. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to get some chip damage up on Sylveon. Not going to be the greatest, but not horrible. See if Ferrothorn comes back in. Okay, Manectric comes back in. So that is a little bit worrisome. I wish I had gone for the Roost now. Okay, so my opponent has some options here. My opponent can go for KOing the Zapdos, or go for a Flamethrower onto Scissor. I think I want to save Zapdos for the Ferrothorn. So I'm going to bring in Venusaur, and I am going to Bullet Punch the Sylveon. The reason I picked Venusaur, okay, that's unfortunate. The reason I picked Venusaur is if he's going to go after the Zapdos, he is going to use a Thunderbolt or a Thunder, and the Melodic does not want any part of that. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. Iron Barbs, probably Rocky Helmet too. No, no Rocky Helmet. Overheat. Whoo! Scissor avoided it. Woohoo! So I'm going to Mega Evolve and Sludge Bomb the Manectric. I think I'm going to bug bite the Ferrothorn. That way, even if that should pick up a KO, and then even if Sylveon comes in, it should do a pretty good chunk there. I should have gone for the Bullet Punch on a Manectric though. Yeah, because of that. So yeah, good night, Scissor. It was nice knowing you. I should have gone for the Bullet Punch, and I made a mistake. I made a mistake. Thunderwave Ferrothorn, okay. Let's see. I'm gonna go Melodic. Okay, I'm going Zapdos. I'm kind of afraid of the Manectric though. So I'm just going to Sludge Bomb the Manectric and go for a Roost. No, I think I'm going to go for the Heat Wave. So if he does not take out my Zapdos here, no, I'm expecting a Protect from Ferrothorn. So I'm going to Roost. Yep. Does he go straight for it? Yeah, he goes straight for it. Okay. So I'm trading my Zapdos. I figured that was going to happen, and I decided to trade my Zapdos for the Manectric. So Melodic's going to come in. Sylveon comes in. So of course I'm just going to Sludge Bomb Sylveon. I think I'm going to Protect with Melodic. Yeah. I expect to see a Leech Seed or maybe a Power Whip. Okay, that's a pretty bulky Sylveon there. Of course, my Venusaur is not very offensive, so just gonna go for another Sludge Bomb. I think I'm just going to Scald the Ferrothorn. Fish for a burn. Oh, avoided it. Awesome. Alright. So that pretty much should tie up the match right there. Like that should make me pretty much in the winner's seat. Both of these are special attackers. I don't have to worry about iron barbs. The only thing I really do have to worry about is like leech seed shenanigans. I think I'm just going to keep scalding, try to burn him. And got the burn! Now it is definitely over. There is no way. Probably should have just gone for the power whip there, buddy. Or you should have even gone for a leech seed. I mean, Giga Drain, even if he had taken out the melodic there, Giga Drain is doing so very little, but with the burn, definitely just done. Oh yeah, next turn, that burn is just going to end it. We're just going to Giga Drain and Icy Wind, because why not? Oh, really? Double full paralysis. It's alright, burn should take him out here anyway. Oh, maybe not with that, between leftovers and leash seed. He might recover enough to, might be recovering enough each turn to actually be gaining life. But with attacks as well, use protect, yeah. He's trying to just stall me out. If this was an actual tournament, we'd have a minute left, and as long as one of my Pokemon didn't faint here or take a buttload of damage, I'd be fine. I'd be winning. Ah, another full para, really? It almost would have been better for me if Melodic would have been knocked out. Because then he wouldn't be getting the Leech Seed health. Which is pretty much what is putting him back up here, is the Leech Seed health. It's probably going to see Melodic go down here. Oh, nope. Icy Wind. Let's see how much Icy Wind does here. Not a bad amount. I actually I guess I wouldn't have wanted Melodic to go down there. So if Icy Wind connects, I probably should have just roosted there. Alright, so that's the last of the Leech Seed health. But Ferrothorn is not going to be doing hardly anything to Venusaur. I've got 12 Giga Drains here. Yeah. He is losing more than he's gaining now. He's not going to protect. It's pointless for him to protect. So there we go. Nice little grind out there at the end. Maybe my opponent was hoping I'd forfeit. I don't know. I've done it before. So I mean, hey. So there's a win. Stick around. We're gonna spin it up and look at it after the break. Thanks. See you in a little bit. We're back. Okay, so, like I said, we are, sorry, getting things set up here. We are, going over this battle. I want to completely dissect it. So here we are at the, team preview screen. So, if you don't remember, our team is Melodic, Scrafty, Scizor, Cresselia, Venusaur, and Zapdos. What is weird about this team is very few of them have Protect. But what they all have is a way to get back health. I've got Recover on Melodic, I've got Drain Punch on Scrafty, I've got Roost on Zapdos and Scizor, Recover on Cresselia, and of course Venusaur has Leech Seed and Giga Drain. So, that being said, this team is bulky. And just in my opinion, I don't really care for this team right now. I like the bulkiness. I like being able to recover health, but I don't like not having Protect. I think it is a very big detriment. The other thing is this team is sorely lacking a lot of strength. Scizor with Swords Dance and Life Orb does put out a lot of damage, but it's not always the best thing to have, as we'll kind of see in this video. And plus, using it correctly is not exactly the easiest thing to do. So there's my team. Now we're going to look at Alex's team here. He has Manectric, Ferrothorn, Conkeldurr, Sylveon, Garchomp, and Talonflame. So, like, we'll just go through and look how each of our Pokemon does against each of his. What we wound up taking was Scizor and Zapdos in the front, Venusaur and Melodic in the back. So, obviously here, well, not obvious, Garchomp could be a Mega, but Garchomp Mega is very rare. Granted, we are in like the 1400 ratings right now, so it's possible. I mean, anything is possible, but you very rarely see a Manectric that is not Mega. I've seen some teams, and I've actually seen some decent teams that have it. They utilize that Lightning Rod ability, but pretty rare. So we automatically pick out Manectric as being the Mega. Manectric kind of threatens Scizor a little bit, because Manectrics normally carry a Fire-type move. So it kind of scares away Scizor, but Scizor does very well against is another check to Sylveon. Our other check to fairies is of course going to be Venusaur with the Sludge Bomb. So, but none of the rest of the team really likes Sylveon, and that's also that Sylveon being a huge threat there is why I left Scrafty out. I probably could have brought Scrafty instead of Melodic, but with how the game played out, I'm kind of glad I didn't. I don't know, because if I'd had Scrafty, I probably would have been able to save the Zapdos, if that makes sense. But we'll get into that when we get into the battle. Do I have anything that really threatens Manectric? Not really. So I kind of started ignoring it. It's kind of frail, so as long as I could put things in front of it that are going to survive, I figured that I could beat the Manectric, so I didn't worry about it. Ferrothorn. Crap. Most of my team is going to struggle against Ferrothorn. Except for I have Heat Wave on Zapdos. So Zapdos was almost a shoo-in right away. That's why, if you watched it earlier, I immediately was like, alright, Zapdos is coming in. Zapdos is actually pretty good against most of his team. Zapdos doesn't do too great against Manectric. Zapdos doesn't do very good against... that's really the only thing Zapdos was not pretty good against. I probably should have protected Zapdos better. If I could do this battle over, one of the things I learned is Zapdos was very important to this matchup. It's got Heat Wave for Ferrothorn. Doesn't really fear Conkeldurr that much. As we saw in the video, Ice Punch is not any fun, but if I had have targeted down the Conkeldurr, I could have dealt with that. Or if I'd have just used Roost intelligently. Zapdos does struggle slightly against Sylveon. Just not much to it. Not very many ways to hit it super effectively. And then, of course, Sylveon just hurts things. Garchomp, Hidden Power Ice, super effective. Talonflame, I've got Thunderbolt. I've got hit, so there we go. Zapdos was awesome. I probably should have protected it better. So the next one, Scissor. I was expecting a Sylveon lead. Don't ask. I can't explain why, except for the fact that looking at this team, Sylveon does a lot of good things for it. Sylveon is a really heavy hitter with spread moves and just threatens so much. It threatens my Scrafty. It's gonna hurt Melodic and Zapdos. But it is kind of threatened by Venusaur and Scissor, so I don't know, if I was on my opponent's side, I probably wouldn't have brought the Sylveon to this match. Let's see, the only one that has Intimidate on my opponent's team is Manectric after it Mega Evolves. But I was thinking Melodic does work against Garchomp and Talonflame. Scald can put burns on Conkeldurr and Ferrothorn, even though the Ferrothorn is very scary for Melodic. Icy Wind is no fun for any of my opponent's team. Cresselia doesn't do very much here. My opponent has... I mean, just being able to pound into Cresselia. Maybe Cresselia would have been alright for the last one to come in with my other two. It also has the Icy Wind. It still has Moonlight to recover health. Psychic doesn't do great against Ferrothorn, but it's not bad. And of course, just being able to soak up soak up moves. So there's the kind of the team breakdown versus wise. I don't know if I would have brought Melodic. Looking back, I think I probably should have brought. I could see reasons for bringing Cresselia or Scrafty as well, but I don't think there was really anything bad that I did in that team preview. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump to this battle here. Alright, so here are our leads. I led Zapdos and Scizor. He led Sylveon and Conkeldurr. Okay, so seeing Sylveon and Conkeldurr, what can I do? I immediately, I even said this, I'm in the lower kind of ladder, so I think that if I just Bullet Punch into that Sylveon, I think that's super obvious. Bullet Punching that Sylveon is super duper obvious. So I assume my opponent is not going to let me do that. This could have bitten me. If my opponent said, you know what, that's so obvious, I think he's not going to do it. Sylveon would have put, let's see, because my opponent switches out Sylveon and Ice Punches Zapdos. The Ice Punch against Zapdos is a great move. My opponent could have next leveled me here by leaving the Sylveon in and Hyper Voicing. That would have made my Zapdos take a lot of damage. It might have even gotten the KO on my Zapdos, which would have been very, very bad for me. But I assume my opponent was not going to take the chance with that Sylveon, so they're going to switch it out. The most obvious thing to switch into my Bullet Punch is going to be a Ferrothorn with those Iron Barbs, and I assumed going to be Rocky Helmet. We found out that Ferrothorn does not have Rocky Helmet later, but at this point in the game we didn't know. So I did not want to take that much damage with my Scizor. Now an option here that I didn't think about, that is Ferrothorn coming in. I could have gone straight for a Bug Bite. Let's see how much damage that Bug Bite would have done to Ferrothorn. Probably not very much. But after a Heat Wave, actually, yeah, after the Heat Wave, the Bug Bite probably would have picked up the KO. So that would have been the safer move. As long as I think the Ferrothorn's coming in, I should have punished that Ferrothorn even harder with going for a Bug Bite. Instead, I went for the Swords Dance, which was not bad. That made my Scizor a very, very large threat, and I didn't take advantage of it. I didn't push that threat on my opponent. I didn't punish him for allowing me to get that Swords Dance up. Okay, so go ahead and let this play out here. We don't want to watch me make my decisions. Oh, video skipping a little bit there. Come on, come on. Alright, so there we go. Ferrothorn comes in. I was like, yeah, Ferrothorn coming in. Heat Wave. Heat Wave might have picked up the KO here, but this Ferrothorn built a little bit bulkier, or maybe my I'm used to having the Life Orb on Zapdos at this point. So that Ice Punch kind of surprised me with how much damage it did. But at this point, I know I'm faster than both things. So, okay. So going on into the next turn, looking at this, my opponent knows I have the Heat Wave. I should have seen this Protect coming from Ferrothorn. If I would have protected, or if I would have assumed that Protect, I could have Bullet Punched and Thunderbolted into Conkeldurr. I think even a Hidden Power Ice probably would have done more than the Heat Wave did to Conkeldurr. Regardless, I probably should have. I should have sent this bullet punch into Conkeldurr with basically any move from Zapdos plus the bullet punch. I would have picked up the KO on Conkeldurr, which would have left my Zapdos sitting fairly pretty. And like I said, Zapdos is my biggest threat against that Ferrothorn, and it will let me avoid what happens later in the match. So here, I made a mistake by not doubling into this Conkeldurr. Even if his Ferrothorn gets off a Leech Seed, at this point I still got 2 in the back. I can switch out to drop that Leech Seed off. So yeah, it was a mistake to not double into the Conkeldurr here. Or like even just hedging my bets, I should have done the safest move would have been Heat Wave, Bullet Punch the Conkeldurr. That Bullet Punch, me sitting at +2, the Bullet Punch is going to severely hurt Manectric. Probably pick up a KO on Sylveon if it comes in. I don't know Manectric's in the back at this point. The only thing that he can come in and pretty much do that might be able to survive this Bullet Punch is going to be, I'd say it'd probably take out a Talonflame right now. I'd have to do the math, but it would at least very much hurt the Talonflame at +2. Garchomp can probably take it, and then Rough Skin would do me some damage back. But I should have Bullet Punched into that Conkeldurr slot. Yeah, so I think my safest play here would have been to Heat Wave and Bullet Punch the Conkeldurr slot. This would have ensured the KO on Conkeldurr or severely punished anything that came in, and if he didn't protect with his Ferrothorn, it would get the KO there as well. So that was a mistake on my part this turn. Not assessing the threat correctly, especially after I've already seen how much damage that Ice Punch does to my Zapdos. I'll go ahead and fast forward a little bit. Now, the Bug Bite almost picked up the KO. Bullet Punch would have picked it up. I ran the numbers. Let me look again. I was thinking fighting was he would take less from the fighting move, from the steel move, as opposed to the bug move, but that would be incorrect. Yeah, I think I didn't think about the technician ability. Maybe I thought bug, but no, bug bite should get the. Anyway, I should have bullet punched into the Conkeldurr slot. That would have stopped the Conkeldurr from getting this Ice Punch off into my Zapdos and severely hampering my Zapdos there. Oh man, my video is all kinds of glitchy. That's no good. Zapdos took a huge amount of damage there, put him into the red. Without that, my Zapdos could have probably could have survived against the longer into the match to hamper that Ferrothorn and stopped the stall out that we got later. So here I switch out. No, I leave. Okay. I think did I go for another Heat Wave? I think I did. And I'm gonna have to check my my settings. Yeah, I went for another Heat Wave. Just trying to catch that Ferrothorn. I think I probably should have gone for the Roost. Obviously, looking at it, I should have gone for the Roost. Alternatively, I could have swapped into Venusaur right there. Switching into Venusaur at that point, no matter if Ferrothorn was left in, Ferrothorn's not doing very much to Venusaur, even not in Mega form. If he switches, it doesn't it doesn't hamper me at all. The switch, like what he did, would have meant nothing. I would have picked up the KO and conquered her. So my option there, my best option would have been to switch. There was no reason to not switch there. The only reason to not roost there would have been to either get something else in, or alternatively, like, I don't think a power whip isn't going to do very much because he's flying. The gyro ball could have done something, but it wouldn't have been able to pick up the KO. So I either should have roosted or switched. The heat wave was a very aggressive play for no reason. So I knew I was going to get rid of the Conkeler, which is what threatened the Zapdos. So I was aggressive there for no reason. Like, I didn't need to be aggressive right there. So Manectric comes in. Immediately Manectric threatens the Scissor. Because, like I said, Manectric usually carries a fire type move. Either Flamethrower or Overheat. Let's see what the damage calculation for a +2 Scissor versus Manectric looks like. Bullet Punch does about 50. Bug Bite gets a KO. A one-hit KO. Alright. To be honest, I know I think I switch out. No, I don't switch out, do I? Yeah, I switch out to Venusaur. Right? I think I try to Bullet Punch the Sylveon? Is that right? If I did, that was not a very good decision on my part. Alright, so I switched out to Venusaur here. My opponent switches Ferrothorn back in. And goes for the Overheat and misses, I believe. Intimidate. So that puts my Sylveon at, or my Scissor at +1. What's the damage? I still have a pretty good chance of Bug Bite picking up a KO. It's not a guaranteed one, but Bug Bite does a lot of damage. Use the Bullet Punch into the Ferrothorn. Man, there was no reason. Once again, I was being super aggressive when I didn't need to be. I decided at this point to try to push the Scissor's power, and I just did it incorrectly. The threat here is obviously Manectric. I should have, if nothing else, I should have Bullet punched the Manectric to try to get damage off on it before anything else happened. Or switched into the Melodic. Switching into the Melodic probably would have been the best idea. Switching into the Melodic lets Melodic get the boost from Intimidate. The Overheat doesn't bother Melodic that much. The Overheat also lowers, like, yeah, switching into the Melodic I think would have been my best shot there. Alternatively, if I didn't want to lose the Swords Dance on Scissor, I should have gone into the Manectric. So here I Mega Evolve, Sludge Bomb. I should have Sludge Bombed, and once again, I went for the Bug Bite. I went for the Bug Bite instead of the Bullet Punch. At this point, I know he wants to punish my Scissor. He does not want my Scissor to sit around. I either should have switched or Bullet Punched. I had another chance to switch, and I didn't switch. That was bad. It was bad. Bad, David. Bad. Bad. Alright, so Melodic comes in. Ferrothorn, or Zapdos comes in, immediately eats the Thunderbolt. I should have brought in my Melodic. I forgot my Melodic has Protect. Could have brought in my Melodic, protected the incoming Thunderbolt, and then the Sludge Bomb picks up the KO, and I have my wonderful Zapdos to punish this Ferrothorn. Which would have ended the game much sooner. I do some obvious plays. My opponent does some obvious plays. I get an eBay alert. And then we're left in this here little stall. The only thing, I'm going to leave it there. The only thing I probably should have done different in the stall is I probably should have recovered with Melodic just to get extra Icy Wind damage. The Icy Wind was the only thing really doing damage there after I got the burn on it. Like doing the Scald till I got the burn was a good idea. And I should have switched over to Icy Wind until I got low. Once I got low, I should have recovered. The Leech Seed was giving him quite a bit of health. But I think between Icy Wind, Giga Drain, and Burn, I was doing more than he was gaining. So even with him alternating protects. So yeah, I should have. I wanted to stop the Leech Seed. Oh, grab my pen. I wanted to stop the Leech Seed recovery, so I just let Leech Seed take the Melodic out. My opponent made some mistakes. If he would have if one of those early power whips would have hit, he wouldn't have been gaining near as much health. Like after he got the burn, he should have wanted my Melodic to stick around as long as he could get it to stick around. That way, because alternating and then you know, until he can gain enough health to be relatively comfortable against the Bulbasaur or the Venusaur. Sorry. So that was a snafu on my opponent's fault. Snafu on my part, but we wound up taking it. Yeah, so that's what I took away from the video, or the battle. Let me know what you took away from the battle. Let me know what you think about the team. What I think about the team is I think it has some problems with lacking the protects. The composition I actually don't mind. The Ferrothorn was a little scary. Yeah. I don't know how much longer I'll use this team. This team, like I said, I'm not sure I like not having protects or having strong attackers. And I've got another idea that I'd like to try for a team as well. So my next video may or may not have a new team. But by next week I will have a new team, if not later this week. Anyway, this was the new format. The video is going to wind up quite a bit longer, maybe even close to like 45 minutes, maybe even be close to an hour now, I'm not sure. Let me know if you like this new way with watching the video up there, or if you liked the other way where I tried to do a very quick recap, or if you just liked the straight battle spot version of the video. Like I said, this way does make it quite a bit longer. It's more work on me. I'm gonna have to edit some things greater, but it makes sure that I look at the battle a little bit closer. So like with this team, I need to know when to press my advantage. Like when I get momentum, I need to learn how to direct that momentum correctly. I had great momentum after that Swords Dance against the Conkeldurr. I did not capitalize on that momentum, and then I tried to push momentum when my opponent took the momentum back. After I lost the momentum, I tried to push for momentum. That push, when I was trying to be aggressive and I shouldn't have, I'd lost my momentum at that point, and I was trying to push for it, and that's not how momentum works. I'd lost it. So trying to push my advantage, I was trying to push as if I had an advantage when I'd already lost my advantage. So this team is kind of slippery with its momentum. Momentum is a tricky little slope with this team. I'm not sure if I completely like that. I don't know if I am good enough to be able to play it that way. Excellent player probably would have been able to recognize when they had it and been able to take advantage of it. I don't think the team is bad, but I may not be good enough to use it. You might have heard me say that before if you watched my other videos. Anyway, if you liked the video, give me a like. If you have suggestions about anything you'd like to see about the format change, if you want my breakdown to be shorter, if you want me to talk about certain things more, let me know. Tell me you love me, tell me you hate me, tell me something. Alright, bye.